Hello and welcome back to our channel, Al-Abraar Apple Farm Diary. If you are new here, you're welcome. I'd like you to subscribe to our content, to click the notification bell so that you are notified of new videos once we upload. Also like this video and share it so that we can spread the message of apple farming in Nigeria. So in this video, I'd like to take you through the analysis of apple farm investment in northern Nigeria. As you know, with anything, the analysis, any venture one wants to go into, the analysis must make sense, at least on paper, before you venture into it. Because nobody will want to put his money into any venture that is not guaranteed to at least return the capital, even if there is no profit. So make sure you stick around to the end of this video so that you see the analysis that is behind our apple farm investment, and you'll be able to know if apple farming is what you want to consider or not. Okay, so for analysis, we are going to make some basic assumptions. We are going to assume that we are starting with 50 apple seedlings, and we are also going to assume that there is not going to be any mortality. So we are assuming zero mortality in the number of seedlings we are starting with. And we are also assuming optimal care for the plants, that is watering and manure, from the time of planting up to at least the first 10 to 11 months or to the first 1 year, when we expect these trees to have to start fruiting. So this cost analysis is not going to include the cost of land, because land costs different amounts of money in different parts of Nigeria. So, and in any case, you must not start by buying a land. You can at least lease a land, but let the lease be a long-term lease, 5-year, 6-year, or even up to a 10-year lease. And by that time, you hopefully would have recouped your money and made enough money to buy your own land. Even though, generally speaking, it is not advised that you do apple farm investment on a leased land, but you can at least start there. So it does not include the cost of lease or purchasing of the land. I'm just going to talk about the cost of getting the seedlings and all the other associated costs with planting. So currently, the seedlings that we planted on our farm, we got them at the rate of 8,000 naira per one. 8,000 naira per one. And from where we purchased them, transporting them all the way to Zaria, it costs around 600 naira per seedling for transportation costs. So 800 naira for the cost of the seedlings, transporting it to Zaria, 600 naira. Now, we needed to prepare lands, and for our farm, we are starting with 50 seedlings actually. And 50 seedlings is at least like the minimum that I would recommend if one wants to go into commercial apple farming, because it needs to not be too much, but then not too small as to not make much sense, financially in terms of what you're going to get out of it. So in land preparation, for land preparation, I'm talking about the cost of digging the holes. For like our farm, each hole was dug at the rate of 300 naira. And then the sand that was dug out needed to be mixed with manure. And, the cost of mixing and filling back, the labor of all that came to around 320 naira per hole. And then there is the setting out and planting, the actual planting. Setting out of the holes and planting costs around 500 naira per plant. And then the manure, the cow manure, cow dung that we purchased and used for the planting, we got at the rate of 700 naira per 100 kg bag of each, per 400 kg bag of the manure. And we used 20 bags for all the 50 holes. So the total that was therefore spent in land preparation, for all the plants, all the 50 plants came to about 1,400 naira per plant. Now, if you add this 1,400 naira with the 600 naira for transportation, that comes to 2,000 naira plus the 8,000 naira cost of each seedling. It came to about 10,000 naira per seedling. And mind you, we have 50 seedlings, so 10,000 naira times 50 gives one 500 naira, 500,000 naira as the entire cost. So now if we assume zero mortality, as I said in the beginning, and optimal care for these plants, in the first year, now we are going into the revenue now from this apple farm, having made an initial capital outlay of 500,000 naira for 50 apple seedlings. Now, in the first year, one expects, assuming, everything went well, and here I'm being conservative. The number of fruits that one will expect per plant per year is rather on the conservative side. I'm sure a lot of people that have experience with Wambugu Apple farm can tell you that you may get as much more higher number of fruits than what I'm saying here now. So, but we are assuming that in the first year, each one of these 50 plants will give you between 40 to 50 fruits per tree. So if we take the average, that's 40 plus 50 divided by 2, we get at least 45, expect 45 fruits per tree. Now 45 fruits, if you multiply it by 50 plants or 50 apple trees, that will give you a total of 2,250 fruits. Now we are assuming a farm gate price for each one fruit to be around 180 naira. Again, this is quite conservative. It can be much more than this, but conservatively, let's use 180 naira per fruit. And 180 naira times 2,250 gives us 405,000 naira in the first year of our harvest from our apple orchard. Now, in the second year of this investment, in year 2, one should expect to get between 100 to 150 fruits per tree, because the trees are bigger this time around, and they will incrementally be increasing their fruiting until maturity at about the age of 4 to 5 years. So in the second year, if we assume 100 to 150 fruits, that will give us an average fruit of 125 fruits per plant. And 125 multiplied by 50 gives us 6,250 fruits. Now, at the same 180 naira per fruit at farm gate price, that gives us 1,125,000 naira as total revenue from fruit sale in the farm for year 2. Now, in year 3, these plants are going to give between 250 to 500 plants per tree. Now, the average of this is around 375 fruits per tree. And 375 multiplied by 50 is going to give us 18,750 fruits harvested from our 50 trees in the farm. And at the same price of 180 naira per fruit, this will amount to a total revenue of 3,375,000 naira as the total revenue from this farm. Now, by the 4th year, by which time the fruits should be at the peak of their production, one expects between 1,000 to 2,000 fruits per tree in a year. And the average of this 1,000 to 2,000 comes to 1,500 fruits per tree. Again, these are very conservative figures I'm giving us. So 1,500 fruits multiplied by 50 trees gives us 75,000 pieces of fruits. And at the same rate of 180 naira per fruit, 75,000 times 180 gives us 13,500,000 naira. So by the end of year 4 harvest, one is expecting 13,500,000 naira per year in this farm of 50 apple plants. So cumulatively now, from the first year, when you add 405,000 to 1,125,000 in the second year, to 3,375,000 in the third year, and then in the fourth year, 13,500,000. This gives a total of 18,405,000 naira as the total revenue that would have accrued within the first 4 years of your 500,000 naira investment in apple farming. Now, one will say, wow, these figures are looking like some, some kind of too good to be true. So let's even assume that, okay, you are 50% wrong in your analysis. That's everything that I've said so far is wrong by half. So if that is it, take out 50% of 18,405,000 naira, and you are still left with 9,202,500 naira as your return, total returns that you have gotten on this investment of 500,000 that you started with. So if this is what the apple farm investment looks like that it can give you, and even if one is even 70% off, and this whole calculation you're only 30% right, to me, I think it is still a decent return. In fact, a more than decent return on investment that is worth trying out. Now, these assumptions can be wrong. You can lose some trees and all that, and that may make your figures not to be exactly as stated, but it will still hover around what I have said. And to me, I think that this is a decent return on investment that is compelling enough for one to try out. But it's up to you to make your research. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a farming venture, and a lot of things can come with farming. A lot of things like diseases to the plants and some other conditions here and there that you may need to mitigate in order to get optimal yields. So please do your own research and let me know in the comment section down below if you think that my analysis is in order or is completely off, and what you think about the prospect of apple farming in Nigeria. So I'll leave it at this, and I'll see you in the next video with some updates on how the plants are doing in our farm. And until I come away again with that, stay blessed and keep farming.